Digital menus? Now there's a good idea for the iPad. Digital dining. Restaurants uploading menus, wine lists onto iPads. The bar is buzzing on a busy night at Chicago Cuts Steakhouse as regulars Keith and Peg Bragg sit at a high table scanning the wine list. Within seconds, they have all bottles under $40 at their fingertips, using an iPad supplied by their server. You can very quickly look through and see the price per bottle, says Keith, a finance executive, as he scrolled through rows of selections. You can read the wine tasting note, how long it has been aged. Since April, when Apple debuted the iPad, the device is now in use as a full menu at upscale restaurants, hamburger eateries, and quick service chains. Restaurateurs say that's just the beginning. Technology is becoming increasingly important to restaurants, and tabletop ordering devices only stand to multiply, says Darren Tristano, executive vice president at the Chicago-based restaurant consulting firm Technomic. You know, I knew the iPad was a cool idea, but like most people, I didn't really see its full potential right off the bat. But this is one of the neatest, coolest ideas I've ever seen. Because one thing that's, like I've noticed, like there's been a few cases where we've got a few nice, fairly high-end restaurants slash caterers here. And there was a couple of times on looking at their menus when I thought, well, I don't know what that is. Looking at the food I've never seen before. Well, the thing is then, you'd have to call over a server and ask, which you can still do, but think of the potential with an electronic menu based on an iPad. All I have to do is tap on it, and they can give me a description of the meal. Maybe there'd be a video on it, or maybe, you'd even be able to read ingredients. Maybe tap another button and there's your nutritional information. Here's another advantage I was thinking. There's been more than once when my girlfriend and I have been out at a restaurant and she'll have forgotten her glasses. With the iPad, you can zoom in on things by just going like that to the surface of the screen. So, that would be great for people with limited vision. And what about this? For food in New York, customers order and enter credit card information into the iPad to pay. So there you go. I forgot my credit card. If you know your credit card number, not a problem. Take the iPad, enter the credit card number. And then that made me think there's even more potential here that we're not thinking, that's not even been tapped yet. The iPad's already a touch device. It's only another step before you start doing thumbprints or handprints on an iPad. And what I'd like to see is eventually that will put an end to this crap. Look at my wallet. Cards, 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 cards. 3 cards here, right here, the 3 ones I use most often, plus a crap ton of cards in the other compartment. And every time I go anywhere, I gotta figure out what card is a reward for this, rewards for that, is it Petro points or whatever else, And it's to the point where I literally have to take my wallet out when I get home and put it somewhere because it hurts my rear because it's that thick and not because there's any money in it, unfortunately. It would be nice to put an end to all the cards, just have a file on you, marked to your thumbprint or a handprint or a fingerprint or something, and then when you come to a restaurant, you're handed an iPad, you look at your menu on the thing, and when you're ready to pay, you just put your thumb there, you enter the amount of your tip, if any, and then pass the iPad back and off you go. Oh heck, it'll take some of the pressure off the servers in the first place. They won't have to go to every table to get orders. The orders could be entered on the iPads at each table, and then the server comes over with the food. Or you can have a button on there marked call server, so you don't have to be standing there, waiter, waiter, waiter. Press a button and they know, just like a nurse buzzer in a hospital. Now this is what I was talking about before, that the iPad was a device with tremendous potential. And I didn't even think of any of this, because when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about it in terms of what would I do with it. Since I don't own a restaurant or a business, it never occurred to me what I might use for it in that venue. But now that I think about it, the iPad is a tremendous advantage, not only to the person in the restaurant, but to the person running the restaurant as well. Think of it this way. Suppose you want to change your menu. What do you have to do? You got to get whole new menus printed up, or at the very least slips to go in the menus to tell about the changes. And it's always better to get the menus printed up because that looks better. But on an iPad, okay, the iPads may cost you a lot more to get in the outset than getting menus printed up. But in the long run, they'd be cheaper, because if you want to change the menu, all you got to do is change it in the computer and feed it to the iPad. Boom, the change is instant. For that matter, that means the iPad can list your daily specials without having to have sheets showing your daily specials, and that means your daily specials don't even have to be regular week to week, because you don't have to print up anything. You can make your specials whatever they want, whenever you want. I foresee the day when All payments and negotiations whenever you walk in anywhere will be done on an iPad or something similar. The iPad is the epitome of what makes Apple products great. Most companies will think, well, we need to design a device that can do this, and let's try to make it as easy as possible for people to learn to use. Apple thinks, we need a device that can do this, and we want to make it so people won't have to learn to use it. They can just use it. The iPad is the ultimate evolution in computer interface. What could be simpler than something you can just reach out and touch what you want? The first thing any of us learns as children, as little babies, is to how to reach out and pick up an object that we want. And the iPad ties right into that. You just reach out, touch the screen, and touch what you want. And it does things for you. Now that's a technology that's going to change the world.